One of the students informs his friend that they are going to the depths of the mountains, where there should be nothing like the island. Then, he tells another friend that the public bathroom water comes from natural hot springs. The friend asks if the bathrooms are mixed, and when the red-haired student named Sudo speaks, a girl named Suzun asks him to lower his voice. Sudo apologizes to her, and then we see a conversation between two friends, one expressing tension about the upper-class students who rarely interact with them. They are interrupted by the teacher, who asks them to maintain silence. She was about to ask something from Class D but stops and apologizes because they are now Class C. They have advanced to a higher class. She informs them about the upcoming test known as the Mixed Training Camp, designed to stimulate mental growth primarily. They will be grouped with people they don't usually communicate with and live together. The scene shifts to the arrival of buses, and we see three friends. The girl informs them about the extremely cold weather, and the students are amazed by the impressive building where they will spend a whole week. They will face challenges with another class, and then one student remembers the teacher's words about the purpose of the test. The students will be divided based on grade and gender, then placed in small groups with members from different classes, and their evaluation will depend on the 4 tests on the final day. As the students check their phones, they learn that the groups with the highest points will receive class points and special points. Suzun tells them that this is not the important part, but Kayotaka interrupts, emphasizing that what must be completely avoided is falling below the set limit. Suzun adds that leaders of failing groups will face consequences, including staying above the limit or being chosen by other leaders. Sudo interrupts, stating that they must share the responsibility and face doom together. He is putting in effort to improve himself recently, so Kayotaka informs them that he won't allow anyone from their class to fail. He asks them to come to him whenever they face difficulties. His friend questions how they can communicate with him since boys and girls are separated most of the time except during dinner. Kayotaka then reveals that they will also have their mobile devices confiscated. He tells them they need to appoint a central advisor for the girls. Suzun is asked if she accepts this role, and she agrees but hesitates to admit that she doesn't have a suitable personality for helping others. She then asks her friend Kushida-san to be the sub-leader, as everyone trusts her in the class. Kushida-san agrees and assures Suzun that she will do her best to assist. Returning to reality, we see Kayotaka standing up and sending a message on his phone, informing Class A that it seems they are planning something in advance. Speaking to himself, Kayotaka realizes that in this test, it's impossible for him to protect everyone alone. He must narrow down the list of those he will protect. The class leader then addresses the students through the microphone, instructing them to take their luggage to the building. They will be divided by gender into groups, and it's up to them to choose their leaders through internal discussions. Some students glance at a person standing in the back, hoping not to be in the same group with him. It's Kakeru Ryuin. Since losing to Kayotaka, the former leader of Class C voluntarily stepped down and has been an outcast since. Next, we see first-year students packing their belongings. One of them asks if they will climb mountains with all that luggage. The girl with yellow hair, Nagumo, challenges her friend Horikita to a competition after the groups are determined. The angered girl questions the meaning of a competition between second-year and third-year students. Nagumo explains that he wants a battle between the current and former student council presidents to see if he can surpass him. Horikita asks about the nature of the competition, and Nagumo replies that they will lead the group that gets the highest average score. Horikita accepts the challenge on the condition that they don't involve other students in the competition. Nagumo agrees, and Suzun expresses her surprise that her brother accepted the competition before it even started. Kayotaka then informs us that Nagumo is the current student council president and is highly confident in himself. Afterwards, we see the students climbing the stairs to reach the training camp. Upon arrival, they sit down to rest before entering the camp. A group of students enters the room where they will sleep and discovers that it is very cramped. With 9 people expected to join them soon, they express frustration. Hashimoto suggests that they need to adapt to the situation, but one of his friends insists that they should discuss and decide together. Hashimoto's friend expresses his intention to take a specific spot in the room, but others interrupt him, stating that he must wait and that the decision should be made collectively. The frustrated students clearly indicate that their journey is going to be challenging. Koenji then arrives, taking all the bedding and announcing that he will stay in the middle of the room, his favorite spot. He advises the others to choose a place that suits them. The other students become annoyed with Koenji, indicating that their living arrangements will be problematic. It seems like Hayori wants to say something, and Hashimoto asks him about it. Hayori, however, states that there is no need for unnecessary talk and that, despite being in the same class, he doesn't trust them. Hashimoto tries to provoke him, mentioning that they are now in the same group, but Hayori remains silent. Hashimoto then says that their group embraces roughness unlike the other groups. In the evening, all the students, both boys and girls, gather for dinner, showing great happiness. At this moment, Ayanokoji approaches Ichino's, who appears exhausted. Ayanokoji remarks that he has never seen her in such a state. She expresses her fatigue, mentioning the difficulty of distributing the groups. Ayana Koji advises her not to burden herself too much and mentions that the school doesn't prohibit girls from confessing their likes and dislikes. Ichinos responds by asking him not to carry too much burden himself, as it's the only thing he excels at. She then looks at the students and mentions that boys and girls are only together in the dining hall, hinting at the school's plan, which seems like a field specifically prepared for sharing information and giving guidance. After that, a girl calls out to Ichinos, wanting to consult with her. Ichinos quickly goes to her, and Ayana Koji reflects that the strongest students here possess superior communication skills and the confidence of the majority more than others. We then see these two girls approaching their friend Kushida, asking her to join them for dinner. Kushida agrees, as she wants to discuss their class plans with Horikita. After the girls leave, Kushida talks to Suzun, acknowledging that she knows Suzun wants to monitor them or even confess as an ally. Suzun confirms partially, expressing her desire for Kushida to trust her. Kushida is pleased that her friend is being open with her, and Suzun reassures her that she won't disclose her past to others. Kushida is relieved because her friend was straightforward with her. Suzun then shares her strategy for gaining Kushida's trust. She explains that if Kushida succumbs to despair and decides to destroy Class A, as she did in middle school, it would be challenging for her to reach Class A. Suzun suggests that if someone were to place a knife at Kushida's throat and say, "I won't harm you, so cooperate with me," would she really comply? Suzun recognizes Kushida's intelligence and believes she would be highly valuable to the class, making others more appreciative of her. Kushida gets upset, feeling provoked by Suzun's approach. She leaves to go somewhere else, and Suzun continues to contemplate how to get closer to her brother. At night, the boys are awakened by annoying music, and they express frustration about it. One boy questions why they're being disturbed so early. Another notices that their friend Koenji is missing, surprising them. Yukimura comments that if someone is missing during the morning roll call, it will affect their points. Koenji then enters, stating that there's nothing more refreshing than an early morning exercise. His friend responds, expressing annoyance at his arrogant behavior. Koenji says that he's tired of Yukimura's condescending attitude and warns him not to act independently again. Yukimura is stopped from retaliating by Yamauchi, and Koenji implies that Yukimura's actions could deduct points from them. He dismissively remarks on the lack of refreshment in the room, frustrating the boys. Yukimura wants to attack Koenji, but Yamauchi stops him, and Koenji leaves, stating that Yukimura should hurry with the roll call instead of bothering him. Hashimoto tries to prevent them from fighting, saying that if something gets damaged in the fight, they will bear responsibility, and if someone gets hurt, they will need to explain. Time is pressing, so they should have breakfast and do as they please, and if things haven't calmed down by then, they can continue. The boy then speaks to Koenji, telling him that he narrowly escaped a confrontation this time and suggests they go for the roll call. After that, Ayana Koji speaks, stating that they will start with a comprehensive cleaning of the facility in the morning, not only indoors but also the external field. He emphasizes the need for spiritual refinement, albeit briefly. They will carefully observe their attitudes, behaviors, group activities, and unfamiliar private lessons. The scene transitions to the girls in the forest. Ichinos tells Wang Mei that the tension will increase as she is surrounded by people she rarely communicates with. Wang Mei expresses joy, and Ichinos tells her that even if they claim harmony now, some confusion is inevitable. She advises Wang Mei to gradually adapt to their pace and thanks her for the tip. Wang Mei asks Ichinos to call her Mei-chan, because everyone else does. In the evening, it's dinner time, and we see the boys on their way to the dining area. A girl is shocked by their appearance, falls to the ground, and apologizes for being in their way. The boy apologizes, but she reassures them that there's no need to worry. After they leave, the girl talks to her friend, and they discuss approaching Yamauchi to discuss the matter. Later, they discuss their plan to talk to Yamauchi about the incident. The girl mentions that she will threaten him with a delay if he doesn't recognize her, and if he recognizes her but refuses to cooperate, she will delay it anyway. She says it will be postponed because she decided to crush Class B first. She believes that Class B distinguishes itself through strong bonds, likely fostered by Ichinos. She also mentions that the reason Ichinos has a considerable number of personal points is that Class B left their points with her, trusting her deeply. Ayana Koji points out that Ichinos probably won't use those points, and Sakayanaji agrees but emphasizes that everyone has both bright and dark sides. She looks forward to their direct confrontation when the time comes and leaves. Then the scene shifts, and Ayana Koji talks with Karuizawa Kei. She mentions finding a note under her clothes and wonders what if someone else had found it, revealing that she was confident in Kei's abilities. Ayana Koji asks if she wants his assistance again, and she agrees. He tells her he will provide a list of people to monitor, acknowledging that it might be challenging. He warns her about the upcoming test, hinting that it could be tricky. The scene transitions to the students bathing after a challenging and long day. Ayana Koji notices a message under his clothes, picks it up, and then lies on the bed, reflecting on past events. He recalls manipulating situations in previous special tests, removing Horikita on the island and taking on the role of the leader. On the ship, he used a trick to replace the phones, and during the sports festival, he deliberately drew attention away to almost eliminate Kushida. Suddenly, before he finishes his thoughts, Horikita arrives and says she asked him to talk. Ayano wonders if she wants his assistance again. Horikita tells him about her plan to remove Nagumo, asking him to introduce Suzun to the student council behind the scenes. Ayano replies that it's a heavy request. Horikita reminds him that he owes her and insists that he should do what she wants. Ayano mentions not having much information about students in the upper classes, and Horikita tells him she will introduce him to a confidant, Kiriyama Ikuto, the vice president of the student council. Kiriyama enters the room, and Horikita continues, stating that Nagumo serves Nagumo superficially but collaborates with her in reality. Kiriyama adds that they doubt Ayano capabilities but will proceed based on Horikita's request. He implies concern about potential unprecedented class disruptions in the coming year. Ayano asks about his competition with Nagumo, and Horikita replies that Suzun is supposed to resolve her issues without problems, but Nagumo doesn't hesitate to use underhanded methods. Ayano notes that Nagumo has never broken his promises before. As they leave, Ayano remarks that Horikita might be the loser this time.
How was the video? We hope it was good. If so, please check these videos. Also, please comment down your thoughts and your suggestions for future videos. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing now to show the support to our channel. We hope to see you soon with another video right in this channel. Have a nice day.